to kind of scooch the camera around a little bit here. Well, it needs to come. Okay. So
it might be okay though with three of us.
Maybe, but we got a line here that I'm not happy about. No. Come move in a little bit. No, okay. That's yeah. It's all right. It's okay. Oh, geez. This computer is really giving me the business today.
That's good for now, and then we'll fix it.
Can you put back to where it was? This is good. My OCD is gonna bum me out here. Okay, we're just about ready to get ready. I'm gonna say hi to everyone. There you go, right there, Chris. That's perfect. Okie doke. Let's see who's in the chat today. Lefty, Paul, Dan, Doc, Dylan, Joy, Gary, and Brian, and Terry, and Zed, and Amanda, and Chris Hill, and I think I got everybody. Okay.
Is it Gary Taft?
No, it's Gary Redburn.
Oh, okay, Gary Redburn.
Yeah,
Gary Taft sold a weight bench the other day. It's close to buying it, except he's in Massachusetts.
Well, you could have had a road trip.
Yeah.
Road trip to Boston, Mass.
True. I asked him, what's shipping on this, Gary?
Just out of curiosity, what would you have done with a weight bench?
Put it in the backyard, same as Gary did. It was actually outside. It looked like it may have been there for more than a day.
Was it at like did it say like Massachusetts State Penitentiary?
No.
Weight pile, all rusty and
I just thought that was funny.
I guess if you're lifting weights out in the yard, getting yard time, that's when you should be doing barbecue stuff, but aren't.
Yeah, I mean,
because I hear a lot of tough talk about barbecue.
Yeah, with Gary too. Yeah. If there's weights or barbecue, I'm going barbecue every time.
Me too.
When I'm outside,
yeah.
Weights or yard work, maybe weights.
I've seen Gary. Gary's not a Navy SEAL or anything out there, pumping iron in the
right.
Yeah, or he's not, like getting jail yard tattoos and making roller cigarettes and
Not to my knowledge.
I've seen him. I know. So but anyway,
Gary will watch this later and be like, "This guy's jerk."
well,
no, he won't say that.
You know what? He's not going to say that about you. Don't worry about it.
No, he'll. I can't do a Boston accent right now. So
okay.
Yeah.
Can you do one later?
Maybe.
Okay.
Come back to me later and ask. Do Gary Taft now.
Do Gary Taft now.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, gang, we've got a bunch of cool stuff to talk about tonight. And it is my understanding that Gio from BlackVolt Amplification may drift through the comment section in a little while. I don't know. But we've got some cool stuff to talk about with him. But and we've got Triple J is in the house. Brian Duncan is in the house. And there's lots of good stuff happening, Chris.
He's here.
And who?
BlackVolt.
Gio, BlackVolt amps are here. Hey, Gio, how are you, sir? So we've got a bunch of cool stuff to talk about with him. And I think what I want to start off with before we get into the meat and potatoes of this is something that Chris and you and I have talked about this a lot this week. The whole notion of like cool stuff that nobody else can get.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can get, did you ever see that I think it's Bill Burr's thing about where do you find the most depressing men in the world? Guitar Center.
Okay.
Now this is not me. This is his joke. You know what I mean? So the whole thing is, so it's a bunch of guys trying to relive some good, but they're getting stuff that everybody else can get, and they're trying to buy proficiency, and they're trying to buy their way into something cool.
Mm-hmm. And in fact, everything the Guitar Center has, they have 5 more in back.
Oh,
exactly
easily,
the same.
And if you go to Bettendorf, Iowa, they have 5 more in the back there too.
Every store has all the same.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a Guitar Center in Bettendorf, but I bet you there is.
Yeah.
And nothing against Bettendorf, but it's the Guitar Center's the same there as it is in LA now. So there's nothing overtly, wildly cool about that stuff.
Right.
But you and I know people who are individuals and are really cool. Gio from BlackVolt Amplification, Dylan from Dylan Talks Tone,
mm-hmm.
Carlos from Castadosa Guitars, me from Texas Toast Guitar. You know a lot of these cool people, Chris, and so you can't just that we can only make cool people who are doing this stuff independently can only make so much stuff. But we've got a new exciting thing to talk with you guys about a way that you can get something really cool. You can touch the magic a little bit. And I think that sometimes just getting inspiration from someone who does something neat is way more exciting than going and spending $79 on a crappy delay pedal at that Guitar Center. Anyway, so let's get Jim up here, and we're going to talk about what?
Nothing.
Okay. Hold on. Before Jim comes up,
these $79 crappy delay.
But you've seen those guys, right? Yeah, you've seen those guys, and you know what they do.
Here,
and let's take a super chat.
I'll sit outside.
Go sit outside. If you're gonna be a turd, you go sit in the yard.
Sit outside in the yard. I'm gonna go pump.
Come on, get in here. Get in here.
So anyway, Brian Duncan sent us a super chat because
sitting on your lap, Jim.
Damn it.
Because what?
Well, I'm trying to get a word in, Brian. When you get this many people up at the table, it's a pain in the dick. Brian Duncan sent us a super chat. Stop idling. And he says, ad-free rocks, because all of our live streams are ad-free. Did you know that, Jim?
I did.
So that's a way that we can, because here's what I think happens. People listen to this stuff while they're driving, home from work or whatever it is that they do. And it's like, there's no need to see what we're doing. We're not exactly doing anything wildly entertaining visually. It's all about the audio. So I don't want anyone to be interrupted by, USAA or, ads for Ozempic or whatever the hell it is that you guys get ads for when we get. So we don't have any ads during live streams, right? You get a lot of Viagra? Ads? Oh, okay. All right. So now the camera is Chris, can you adjust the camera again? Because again, we're not doing anything visually, but my OCD is gonna bum me out a little bit here. There we go. Okay, so Jim,
I haven't done anything to it yet.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm waiting for you to go here.
That's the Leland Star switch.
So, okay, so Jim, you had an
Is that
interesting phone call yesterday or today?
Today.
Okay.
Hey, but do you know what today is?
It's National Punchki Day.
No, it's
Punchki Day.
It's National Brian Day. If you have a friend named Brian, I saw it on the interweb today.
Wait a minute, that was last Friday.
No, dude, it's today.
Okay, I'm not celebrating it twice in 1 year. That's for
say
damn
hi
sure.
to Brian.
I think it's every week.
I think so too.
I saw it on Facebook, man. It's got to be true.
It's still his birthday month. We can go with that, right?
Yeah. Is it still your birthday?
It's your birthday year.
Month.
Yeah, month.
Yeah, it's still my birthday. It's been
All right, so guys, Doc chimed in with a super chat and said the three amigos. Hey boys, hi Doc, how are you doing,
Doc.
sir? So Jim, okay, so Gio's here. He's a busy guy. Let's talk a little bit about the amp. But tell us what. Yeah, tell us what.
Well, let's go where this all originated.
Hey, look,
from.
Tawny's here too.
Oh, cool. Hi, Tawny. Tawny Ellis, Gio's beautiful wife.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, we were at Woodwire and Volts back in when was that? January. Okay.
23rd.
And Gio Loria from BlackVolt amplification was right next to us. He had a killer setup. Man.
We lucked out.
Yeah, man. How cool is that? We had Gio right there, then Carlos with Castadosa right next to us, and Curtis there, and a bunch of cool people.
The Castadosa Mafia was relentless, though. They were everywhere. There was
every time you looked and you saw somebody that looked like they should be somebody.
They were
doing something.
It was a
Castadosa shirt on.
It was impressive.
Yeah,
for sure. But anyway, I don't know what the protocol is when you go to the shows. I think because that was our first time there, and you don't want to just go running up to people and like, hey, what's going on? So when there's a lull in the afternoon, I think that's when like people start meandering around and introducing themselves and stuff. But Gio came over to the table, and I've been following his stuff for a few years just because I love his style. I love the whole Southwestern style, the reclaimed wood, all that. His amps sound phenomenal.
He really does look like you should be able to go into like a boutique silversmith shop in Santa Fe.
Yeah.
And like find his
Dude,
amps.
Gio, he's rad, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, he came over. He was very complimentary of TTG, and we love his stuff, man, and got to see all his amps and guitars and stuff.
And then we plugged one of ours into his stuff. And
Yes.
we got yelled at.
Yeah.
I don't have any.
Turn that thing down.
I don't have any recollection of that. Did that happen?
Yeah.
Who, buddy yelled at us?
No, he might have been the guy that came over and said, but because the point, the idea of, well, let's go plug this one in. Oh, it was the next day when your buddies came.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, because when Gio was
we
playing
said-
through his amp, nobody hassled him. What?
Well,
you
no,
don't talk
but-
shit to him.
No, but I said, well, let's not go plug into that room. Let's go plug into the BlackVolt stuff. And somebody said, oh no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
yeah.
Anyway,
it was too red. You can't do that.
so we got to meet Gio, and
Gio says that you guys are too kind and legends. Thank you very much.
there you go.
And he says that he think Buddy and Curtis busted him.
Buddy's a cool dude, man.
I like that
love
guy, man. You know, Starcrawler is going to be here this fall.
Really?
I don't know. I don't think Buddy's like on the road with him.
No,
but yeah.
but, yeah, we definitely need to go see them because
Yeah.
they were super cool.
Mhm.
Anyway, I don't know how it came about, but we talked to Gio about doing an amp building class
Mhm.
here in Colorado, and it was very well received. And then Tawny came the next day, the second day of the thing, and her and I talked extensively about, just throwing out ideas about how it would work and all that stuff. And I told her about some past amp classes, and I said, listen, I'll get in touch, in the new year, and let's talk about it and see if we can make it happen, because this would be something that no one else is offering. It's super cool. TTG and BlackVolt together, doing something.
Yeah. Let's take a quick super chat from my buddy Jay, your buddy Jay, our buddy Jay.
Yep. Hi,
Says,
Jay.
running late with work and almost missed my favorite YouTube show. Hey, Matt, Chris, Brian, and JJJ. Thank you so much, Jay. Okay, for those people who may not know, why would you want to, so who thinks, besides the three of us on the panel here, who else thinks that BlackVolt amps are cool?
Well, let me tell you.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I know, but yeah, you guys might not know.
So I had a long talk today with Gio and Tawny, but I just want to tell you some of the people that play BlackVolt amplifiers. Rich Robinson, Isaiah Mitchell from the Black Crowes, Joe Perry from Aerosmith,
Mhm.
Johnny Depp, Tim Hanseroff from guitar player for Brandy Carlisle, Adrian Caseta from the Black Pumas, Muse, Los Lobos, Corey McCormick, who's with Lucas Nelson, and he plays bass for Neil Young, Slash,
Mhm.
Richard Fortas from Guns N' Roses, our good buddy Carlos Lopez,
Mhm.
Johnny Resnick from the Goo Goo Dolls, and
Mhm.
it goes on and on.
Yeah, like
and
so
on.
we met Chris Masterson at Woodwire and Volts, and
Right.
and I know he plays them, and there is a cavalcade of stars that play his amps. So you mean to tell me that he's going to come here
This-
and teach people how to build amps?
Yes, sir.
That's pretty remarkable.
Yes. So big news. Your chance.
That is like having we're doing a thing, and Jim Marshall is going to be here, or I don't know, insert name of fame. Of course he's dead too, but yeah, and with all due respect to Jim Marshall, but it's the guy. So it's like when you get to come here and wind pickups with Dylan,
Mhm.
it's the same guy who winds the pickups.
Yeah.
That for Dylan.
Exactly.
So if you wanted to like get into a BlackVolt amplification amplifier, well, you can come hang out with the guy who makes them, the guy who designed it. I mean, and he's he's got like this sort of extra sensory ability to like make stuff cool.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I can't. This is kind of blowing me away how neat this is.
Yeah.
Dude, it's
And I knew it was coming. Yeah.
Super cool. I kind of let those guys, get back to their lives in LA when we got back from the show, and I was traveling and stuff, and I picked it back up when I got back from Texas, and it was like, this thing's too cool to not happen.
Mm-hmm.
So traded some emails back and forth, and then had a nice long talk with Gio today and Tawny, who I gotta give Tawny some love.
Oh, that's right.
So Tawny Ellis, Gio's lovely wife, is a singer, songwriter, recording artist. She has a new album coming out in June called Edge of the World. She's got several recordings out there. I'm sure it's on all the download sites and Spotify and all that stuff. But you should definitely check her out. She's a super nice lady, very talented. And I think Gio said they're planning on doing some touring later on this year, possibly.
Oh, this year. That's
I
cool.
think so. Yeah.
Are they going to be with
probably-
Starcrawler?
No.
What kind? I wonder what they.
She's kind of Americana. I listen to some of her stuff. It's really cool, man.
Okay.
She's got a beautiful voice.
What kind of amps do they play?
She says thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I'm sure it's all BlackVolt everything.
I'm sure. Well, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That would be silly to not.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you get? What do you guys figure out for? What y'all figure out for what this workshop's going to look like?
Okay. So if you came to this workshop, and we don't have any numbers yet, still trying to figure that out. But if you go to Gio's website or go to YouTube and look up BlackVolt Sparrow, his Sparrow amp.
That's a cool name. What's that about?
Believe it or not, the amp was inspired by Johnny Depp because Johnny Depp came over to see Gio and dropped a Gibson GA5 amp off.
Okay.
And so that's where it all came from. So he decided to call it Sparrow for Jack Sparrow.
Okay.
Right? From Johnny Depp.
Yeah, Gio dug the amp but decided to tweak it some.
And he tweaked it.
And they're really cool. One of the things, at that show, I didn't go around and like eyeball everybody's stuff.
Yeah.
But once we met Gio and talked to Gio, then I started eyeballing his stuff.
Yeah,
a little bit.
It's rad, dude.
And yeah, everything was cool and everything was somewhat one-off. I don't think he had two things that looked exactly the same.
Yeah, everything's unique. Yeah.
And then you start talking to him, and it's just this cool vibe of reclaimed and just just really, really cool stuff. And that amp looked killer. It looked like something. Well, I kind of want to try this.
Chris, do you know the elevator pitch? Look, what's the difference between the Gibson GA5 and the Champ? Another classic
They're
5-watt.
Almost the same amp, I think.
Okay, Gio, I don't expect you to. If you're still here, I don't want you to like chime in. But yeah, I mean, unless you want to. But
little differences, but they're very, very similar circuits. But the cool thing about what Gio does is he tweaks that original design to do some other stuff. A lot of those things are kind of one trick ponies.
Yeah, you turn it on and it's may have and the volume is also the on.
The volume goes from none to all or something
dude,
like that.
The overdrive on the
really
Sparrow was cool, man.
So it's got a gain circuit.
And it's got tone. Right?
Yeah.
And those two things are really cool. And they looked neat. And it was just like, this is cool looking stuff.
And there might be more. Like I was saying, I don't want to have Gio like fill up I don't expect him to type in every single difference between the Champ and the GA5 and the Sparrow. But
really,
I thought maybe if you knew, and it's they're similar circuits, you reckon? And
okay. Yeah. Well, back then there weren't a whole lot of circuits to be had.
Let's see.
So
Ow!
Don't hurt yourself.
So Gio says it's a mix of the GA5, Tweed, Princeton, Champ, Deluxe, and has a higher gain channel.
There you go.
So this is a pretty cool thing. So like, how many? Okay, I don't know the answer to this. I don't know if anybody knows the answer to this, but I believe that a ton of cool recordings were done with 5-watt amps, just cranked all the way up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say everything you liked in high school was recorded that way. I bet you.
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah.
Except for Nevermind the Bullocks, which I believe wasn't. I don't know how they did that, but yeah.
Well, I think a lot of those amps, stuff drifted. Things weren't all exactly the same. But as soon as you learn how they've drifted and how to control that drift and make a knob that does that stuff, because guys had their magic amp, their one true and holy little 5-watt thing, and they all sounded slightly different probably. But you can control some of that.
Now it's funny because
you get repeatable,
Yeah.
very, very cool thing.
Joy was saying how much she liked the stories. And do you remember the story that he told us, what Gio was saying about how he knows like how to tweak stuff and like how to put in that,
He knows how to voice an
that
amplifier.
secret sauce.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Guys come to him and have them.
Yeah.
He voices their amplifiers
Yeah.
on how they want them to sound. So super cool.
So we've done it in the past where we've had guys come out here and they have successfully built amps.
Mhm.
And I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, and those were fun classes.
They were fun, and they were definitely cooler than going to Guitar Center, the most depressing place in the world, and buying whatever. But I don't think there was a lot more secret sauce other than you got to make it.
It was an assembly line basically.
Yeah.
And and Gio's a cool guy. I mean, you just
Yeah.
kind of want to hang out with Gio and listen to him talk.
Mhm.
That's going to be a problem because people won't, focus on what they're doing, and then Gio will have to solder up 6 amps at the end,
In the 11th
come
hour,
back
yeah.
and, Man, these suck. I need to stop telling cool stories about Jason Momoa.
Yeah. Tell me about
Flying
Aquaman.
Yeah.
Still an extra day for the Geo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I made this guitar out of wood from the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
Here's seat 49.
Which he
I don't
has.
think I know.
Yes.
There were 2 of them. Yeah, and I don't remember.
Dude, he's a
what the
great
numbers
guy,
were,
man.
but-
He's so cool.
But yeah, and it was just like, oh, this is a cool vibe. I like hanging out, and yeah, I don't know how it came up, but we ended up with our guitar in his booth, and somebody was playing it, and he's like moving chords and plugging in stuff, stomping on pedals, and all of a sudden, our guitar is huge in the whole room, and it's like, yeah, that sounds great. So yeah, it was.
Tawny says that she's going to
Fun.
come in and regulate. She's going to keep everybody in
Keep
line.
everybody going.
Thank you, Tawny. Let me tell everybody if this happens, what you would be building.
Okay.
Okay, so you would build basically a BlackVolt Sparrow.
Okay.
It's a 5-watt amp. The power tube's a 6v6. The preamp tube is a 12AX7. The cabinet's made out of Baltic birch plywood, Alnico speaker, 1 volume, 1 tone, and a gain control knob.
I think you could do a lot of really, really neat stuff with that. What would be really cool is so a couple of guys have come out here and built guitars and then built amps with us. What we could do is we could build guitars and amps that same session. Wouldn't that be something?
That was talked about today.
Hence, that's why I brought it up. Yeah,
That's one of the coolest things you could ever possibly do is build a guitar and build an amp and then play the guitar you built through the amp you built.
So Black Dog Sheep
I haven't
and
done it.
LA
done it.
LA Vergs said that they both been playing their Les Pauls through their JCMs that they built here.
There you go.
And
Cool.
yeah.
Sweet.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
And I cannot think of anything cooler than that.
Mhm.
Maybe one thing cooler than that.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Wind your own pickups, build your own guitar, build your own amp, and play all of that stuff.
That would
through
be
it.
pretty neat. Yeah.
We could make that happen.
That's a 10-day
Mhm.
course.
Well, Matt, that was a great lead-in
Hence, that's why I did it. Yeah.
because you and I talked the other day, and I was telling you that I was going to talk to Gio and Tawny and about doing an amp class. You said, "Well,
Sorry,
you know,"
Bill.
and you always have to up it 1 notch. And you said, "Well, why don't we do a guitar too?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we do something Gio-inspired guitar?"
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about that today as well, and he said like, "Hey, would it be cool if we built a guitar in 5 days and then stuck around whoever wanted to stick around for the weekend and then do the amp as
Mhm.
well?" And Gio was telling me he has a 59 Les Paul Jr.
Mm-hmm.
that he would love to kind of replicate and put a spin on
Yeah.
and his whole thing is using reclaimed wood that's got some kind of history behind it.
Now you just said Les Paul Jr. and Doc chimed in. Let's see what he says. We'd love to do the pickup guitar amp combo. That would be really cool.
Oh, and then on day 11 and 12, we make a case for it.
Yeah.
And then on 13 and 14,
We have a concert.
that's
Yes.
exactly right. Yeah, we.
Thank you, Brian. So that was something we were tossing
Mhm.
around, but that's what Geo digs reclaimed wood and the story behind the wood and where it came from and, unique characteristics of it and stuff.
You were saying he would like to help source some of this material
If it could happen.
if at all possible.
If not, we would, we'd go around here and try to find some stuff and send them some pictures and say, hey man, is this cool? And this is where it came from. And this is the story behind it. And I think this is a really, really cool thing, man. I mean, this is a one-off. Nobody else would have this.
Okay. And here's, you guys, we're giving you first crack at this.
Right.
Because Geo hasn't said anything about it. As soon as he puts, hey, I'm going to Colorado and I'm going to do this amp build thing, I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying Charlie Sexton's going to walk through the door, but I'm not.
He may ride in on a horse.
I'm not saying that. I don't know. Yeah. So, yeah.
So what, I think
Geo's like a treasure hunt. Yeah, that would be cool, man. There's bound to be some really neat stuff here in Colorado. We might just go sneak into a building late at night and just steal a bunch of rafters. I don't know what we're gonna do. Yeah.
Yeah. I may go to the Coors Brewery and try to dig up some wood somewhere. I don't who knows.
Yeah.
But if you are interested, email either Matt Joy or myself at JJJ at Texas Toast Guitars and let us know if you are interested, because we're kind of putting it out there now to see how much interest is out there and if it's a viable thing. It probably wouldn't happen till the fall, correct?
Well, yeah, we are all booked up through August. So, and I've been kind of waiting to do September, October, blah, 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 until some of these things that we talked about early in the year kind of started to come to fruition. So give people time to make it happen. Gio and Tawny would have to, figure out like, all right, we've got to get all this stuff from our place in Hollywood,
In LA, yeah.
in LA out to Colorado, and then we've got to get ourselves there, and then they're going to need to get here and stay at your house. Yeah. And Chris's house. I don't know. And I'm sure they'll probably get like an Airbnb. Did you know there's an Airbnb? I'm not going to tell you where. Right down the street from me and on my block.
That's a little scary.
I know, right?
I know exactly.
I know.
We got a jigsaw from them.
We did. Actually, it was a tiny bandsaw, but yeah, you're right.
I thought it. Yeah, you're right. And a snow shovel, and I still use that snow shovel today.
Oh, really?
Well, not today because it didn't snow.
I think I can count on one hand the number of times I had to shovel this winter. Joy says to message her on the contact form on the website. Yeah, guys, if you are into doing this and you wanna make something happen, I know for a fact Joy's gonna put a bunch of stuff in the magazine, and so yeah, you can be immortalized doing something that is one of the neatest things we've ever done, and we've done a lot of really neat stuff. But imagine, I mean, this is as our sphere of influence grows. I mean, like we're kind of Chris, you and I are insulated from a lot of the stuff that happens in Los Angeles and Nashville and Chicago and New York and I don't know, Athens. I don't know where music gets made, but we're kind of out here in a lot of ways, treading water like that guy did at the Maverick Surf Spot.
Yeah. Just waiting for everybody else to figure out. Yeah, what's going on.
Yeah. And so as we meet people and as we come up with ideas, we're going to offer this stuff. And I think this one is a giant cool thing that we can do.
This is really cool, man.
Yeah, this is really cool. And the other amp class was fun and cool. This one is cooler because Geo is just a cool guy and a fun guy to hang out with. 2, slightly different. 3, he's speccing everything.
Yeah.
It's got his spin on it. It's
I would bet you that if I messaged Carlos Lopez right now and told him what we're going to do, he would say, save me a couple spots, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Because he was like, I really want to come out and do one of your workshops.
Oh,
I don't know why he wants to do that. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, and this, I come from this place of like fear and anger is kind of what drives me to do a lot of stuff. I'm always like, angry at like, why am I not I'm terrified that I'm going to have to go back to, working a day job one day. So so I have to like jump on things and latch onto them and just try to wrestle them into submission. And I'm not angry at people. But I'm angry at, scenarios and I'm constantly afraid of stuff. And so when people like Gio say nice things to me, I'm like, I really appreciate it, though I don't understand it. You know what I mean? Like he's the cool guy. I'm
Well, so with no ego, you go to the show and everybody there is basically the same as you. When you start talking and going back and forth, and it's like, oh yeah, we have all this stuff in common, and it's really fun to just hang out and talk guitars or amps or music or Hollywood Bowl, whatever you're talking about, and it's just fun, and this is more of that community and brotherhood stuff that we're always talking about, and all of a sudden that's what matters is the community and the brotherhood.
Yeah.
And everything else doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And can you put a price on any of that? No, you can't.
Yeah, you cannot.
Really.
You cannot quantify that with a dollar value. Yeah.
You'll remember the experience. You'll remember all of that. I mean, I already don't remember, and I remember being at the Woodwire and Bolt show, and I remember talking to a bunch of cool people and meeting a bunch of cool people, and everybody's on the same page. And
well, what's funny is it cost us a lot to do that Woodwire and Bolt show, and we did it on the cheap.
Yeah,
but for us to go, it cost us a bunch, and I don't remember that money.
That's what I mean.
Now, I figured it's what. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant. Yeah.
I mean, we got to meet cool people like this, man.
But
I can make more money.
Yeah. I do remember. Yeah. Breezy coming up on day 2. Hey man, I'm Breezy.
Breezy hangs out with Gio too.
I watch your YouTube videos. Oh, cool. And the funny thing is, we stood next to Breezy's booth and didn't say much to him almost the whole weekend. Yeah, because I don't know what you're supposed to do. And
exactly.
So anyway, so these people came up to us and we talked to them and hung out. It's just like a buddy. I thought, oh, this Buddy guy is going to be a jerk. And next thing you know, Buddy and us are like best friends. He's coming over. Is that the guy you want us to get rid of? Yeah, that's the guy. Get rid of him. Yeah.
Make him tap out.
Yeah, tap out. Yeah. So, but anyway, it's these experiences that you get to do when you're a little more open to new ideas and coming out and building an amp. A guy that knows Slash, and not that that's what makes Gio cool, because Gio was cool before I heard any of this other stuff.
Well, Slash calls him.
Slash calls.
Yeah, that's
cool.
And what's cool? What's cool with Gio?
I didn't need to know his connection to Slash to know that Gio was cool.
Gio made it a point to tell me that he does stuff with amps that nobody else does, as far as how he wires them, and he just does some weird stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
So to get his sound, and so I think it's super cool, man, that he would even come out here and